All right, we're going to talk about beans and why they matter tonight. And it's going to be really quick, so I'm only going to tell you a little bit about it, but hopefully you'll actually kind of want to eat beans when I'm done. A lot of people really hate beans, or they think that there's something that only poor people eat. Because, yeah, a lot of poor people eat them. They're a really cheap source of really awesome protein. In poorer countries, they're really easy to grow. You can get more protein growing beans in a shorter amount of time for less effort and less water, less everything than you can from any other source of protein. You combine that with rice or corn, you're set. You've got the perfect protein blocks. That's part of why beans are very popular in poor countries, but they're also very popular in countries that aren't poor. And it's for the same reasons. You can get more protein and more food value out of beans faster than any other protein food that you're looking at. If you look at China, they have the soybean, which they have then turned into everything. They make everything out of the soybean. And it takes up less space, it takes less water. Beans are pretty freaking amazing. That being said, the big thing about beans that everyone's afraid of is you're going to get gassy. There's a couple ways to get by that. One is to make sure that they're properly cooked all the way through, so they're soft. Canned beans are usually completely cooked all the way through. So the sugar proteins that cause the gas are already mostly broken down. Your body isn't freaked out by it. The other way is to just eat them until you stop having that problem, because your body's adjusting to dealing with that. If you have beans in your diet on a regular basis, you're not gonna have the gassy side effects. The other way of doing it is to serve it with, eat a lot of salad, because that's gonna help everything move on through. Not to be disgusting, but it's true. Beans are found in every culture's food. Every single culture. In the Middle East, obviously you have hummus, which is chickpeas, but you also find chickpeas in Italy. And you also find white beans in Italy. You find white beans in Spain. You also find black beans in Spain. And so on and so forth. Like, every country affects the beans of the country next to it, no pun intended. But every country, in England you have beans and sausage. In America you have red beans and rice. You have pinto beans in Mexico and a lot of, well, all of South America pretty much. You have mung beans and soybeans in the Far East, the Japan, Korea, China, all of that. I'm really not for sure what Russia and Canada are doing, not to lump them together, but I'm really not sure what their bean situation is. Somebody needs to ask them. Yeah. But beans are very easy, and you find them a lot in hotter countries where main dishes are bean based. One of the reasons for that is when you cook them, they take much less energy than meat. They also store better than meat, both in the dried product or canned product and in the cooked product. Granted, if they get too hot, they will ferment, but at the end of the day, you're taking up a lot less space, you're less likely to have the food go bad on you, and it's not going to take as much. If you put a pot of beans on in a really hot country at night, let's say you've got a stove, you put it, or a slow cooker, Slow cookers are great for cooking beans. So you plug your beans in overnight, and in the morning you've got enough beans to last you the day. Didn't take any heat, didn't take any effort, and you don't really have to worry about how you're going to store them because you've cooked it. It will last a little bit longer than a meat-based protein. I'm really fond of black beans and garbanzo or chickpeas. We eat a lot of hummus because we really like garlic, and it's really cheap and easy and fun to make. And it goes with everything. One of the recipes I'm putting out tonight is a hummus dip, and it's just like the Mexican 7-layer dip with the refried beans, but hummus instead. It's so amazing. You can also put chickpeas in Italian food. Same thing with black beans. I like black beans better than white beans. They're a bit better for you on all the vitamins and minerals and things like that. They go really well in tuna fish salad, which is something a lot of people don't realize. They also add that extra bit of color that gives you a bit more volume to the dish, which makes people think that it's more than it is. But yeah, beans aren't your enemy. They're more your gassy friend. If you decide to cook up beans at home from dried beans, the easiest way to deal with the possible gassiness is to take, when you're cooking your beans after you soak them, put in maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of fennel seeds, about half a cut up onion, just cut it roughly in chunks. You're going to be taking it out when they're done cooking anyway. You can add a bay leaf if you want, and raw garlic. But don't salt your beans. Do not salt your beans until they're completely done cooking, because what happens is the salt is going to hit those beans, and the beans are going to be like, hell no! And they're going to tighten up, and then they're going to never be soft again, and it's also going to make them more gassy causing. But yeah, and for those of you who have not known this before, we now have a bunny. Besides the crazy cats, they were doing the Kitty Olympics right before I started this video, and apparently I timed it perfectly because they're not doing them anymore. But yes, this is the bunny anywho's, and she is she's really adorable, but she is a lop and lion head mix. Miniature lop, miniature lion head mix. So she looks really redonkulous and really stupid, but adorable. And she only poops on your hand a little bit, which is always awesome when you're talking about food. But yeah, beans are not your enemy. Get to know beans. Get to figure out start thinking about what you can put beans in. You can do beans with pasta. If you've never done, and again, white bean, you can use any kind of beans, but white beans, cannellini beans they're called, or small great white northern beans, are really good in pastas. You can throw any kind of bean that you want in pasta, just like any regular pasta sauce with the pasta, just like you normally would, and just throw in some beans. It's not a horrible thing. Beans are your friends. And they're a really awesome, cheap source of protein. So, that's pretty much all I've got for you. I'm going to try to start putting out, for damn sure, 1 to 2 videos per week. 1 to 2 videos. Nobody's been holding me to anything. I'm blogging or videoing, and I'm kind of sitting here going, I have really poor grasps of what time and my relationship to time is. Like, I hang a calendar where I can see it, and I still have to look at the computer and be like, what the fuck day is it? And then sometimes when I don't trust my computer, I will call my mom and ask her, what day is it? And then she tells me. So yeah, somebody start holding me to this, because otherwise God knows when the next video is coming out. You all have a good night, and I will talk to you later.